And we are going live. Yes, we are going live. Day one journey, episode 746. Cha-ching. Yeah. Today I want to share with you this idea. Sending my emotions to school. Well, I also shared with my friends, and I also shared here a few weeks ago about me doing what I want to do, doing what I'm passionate about, pushing myself sometimes, regardless of how I feel. And sometimes when I say that, people sometimes think that I ignore my feelings, that I ignore my emotions, that I'm not willing to experience my feelings, that I'm maybe even putting my hand in the sand or try to ignore them. When the truth is, this is what I think about that here. I'm sending my emotions to school. I don't want that my emotions will dictate what I'm doing. I understand that my emotions, they come and they go. Yeah, like 1 minute I'm feeling passionate, the other and then I get a phone call. I change my state, and then I'm feeling a little bit bored or a little bit overwhelmed or whatever. Then I'm sort of not feeling like it. So for me, I choose not to wait until I feel it. I'm not waiting for the feelings. And when they are there, whatever they are, I don't let them dictate what I do. But it doesn't mean that I ignore them. It doesn't mean that I don't experience them. For me, I'm doing something with them. I'm educating them. I'm sending my emotions to school. I'm curious about them. I inspect them. I zoom out and I look at them. So, yes, in the past, I remember friends actually telling me that I'm a robot. and back in the days, I didn't like it. To tell you the truth, I actually didn't like it. I had the urge to prove that I'm not a robot. And yes, I was pushing myself to do stuff regardless of how I felt, and I still do that. And I don't see that as ignoring my emotions. I don't see that as being a robot. I listen to my emotions. I listen to my feelings, which is not the same thing, by the way, in my opinion. But more about that just in a second. I see my feelings and my emotions as input. It's an input. It's not the output. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say I have a conversation with, I think a year ago, a few months ago, I had a conversation with a family member, and it was a bit intense. And they said something. It was sort of a criticism about me. And I felt something. It was building up a little bit. So I wasn't ignoring it totally. I just used that as a sign. They said something, it meant something for me, but I didn't give it a label. So I felt the feeling, the physical feeling, coming up, but I didn't label it. I didn't say, oh, I'm angry with him. No. I didn't say that. I was listening to the emotion. I felt it. I didn't ignore it. I felt it. But then I came back to the conversation. Wait, what did they say? Is it important to me? What do I want to say? What is my message? What do I want to communicate? And this feeling just stayed there a little bit. But I didn't label it. I didn't give a meaning to it. But I listened to it. I still listen to it. I didn't let myself come to a conclusion too fast. Oh, I'm angry with them. No, I don't know. So this is, I guess this is an example of me experiencing something, feeling something, and not let it dictate what I do. And part of it for me is educating my feelings, my emotions, understanding them a little bit better, using them as input, not ignoring them, listening to them. Let's say, like I can have conversation with my dad, and he can say something like, so he can give me some idea about what can I do with my life, and I listen. I don't ignore, but then I choose to do what I think best for me. So he might say, you're ignoring what I'm saying. The truth is, I'm not ignoring what he's saying. I listen. I take it as an input, but I know this is what he thinks with his knowledge from his context, but he doesn't know what I know. So I listen, but then I make my own judgment and my own decisions. So sometimes he says to me, but you're not listening to me. Well, I do listen, but I make the decisions. So I do listen to my emotions. I do listen to my feelings. But at the end of the day, I don't let them dictate what I do. I don't wait until I feel like it to do something. And if I feel down, and if I feel overwhelmed, then I try my best. It's not easy. I try my best to use it as an input, and then go back to my priorities, what's really important to me. Because what's really important to me doesn't change when my feelings change. My feelings can change in an instant, just like that. Poof! I hear a good song, I talk to a friend, boom, my state changes. But my priorities, they don't change just like that. They don't. So this is what I was just reading one of the questions. Miss Lawson asked, so you use your emotions to learn more about yourself. Yeah, I can say that. And I want to make again the distinction. Feelings and emotions. Feelings is what I feel physically in my body. Emotions are the labels. It's a judgment. I say, okay, this is what I feel. I label it as anger. So usually I try to label things a little bit more flexible. So I'm saying I'm feeling not comfortable. So it's neutral. It's not positive or negative. It's neutral. So yes, I use sometimes, not all the time, I still use my feelings to learn more about myself, to see the triggers. Yeah, I'm getting curious about myself. Wait, I felt this. Why? Not every single time. I'm not using every single time to stop and think and superanalyze. I notice, I take a note, I felt this. Okay. I use these as inputs. And then next time when I feel something similar, maybe I can understand a little bit more. And this is sending my emotions or my feelings to school. So yes, over time, I use my feelings to educate myself about myself. And maybe we'll talk about it also tomorrow. But this is what I want to share with you in this episode. I'm sending my emotions to school. I don't ignore them. I don't ignore them, even though I know some of my closest friends think that I think only with logic and I don't actually feel and stuff. No, I'm not a robot. But you're free to think whatever you want about me. You think that I'm a robot? Okay, yeah. For me, I want to master myself. For me, mastering myself is true power. And I do have feelings, I do have emotions, I do experience them every day. I just don't want them to dictate what I do, because they always change. My feelings are not who I am. I define myself with my priorities, the things that are most important to me. So I go back to them. I use them as an anchor because they don't change. So I have something to hold up, yes, something stable, something. Either way, have an amazing day. Day one, yeah. And see you tomorrow.